Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you how to register your flight tracking sensor on Neuron. So the Explorer is now live, so you can go to neuron.world, click on Explorer at the top right. What this will show you is all of the currently registered and connected devices on the Neuron network. So you can see some of our drone delivery projects down in the southwest of the United Kingdom. We've got one, this is our tech leads sensor, and then we've actually, this one here I believe is our 4D Sky server. So you can see that there are different nodes, both service providers and customers on this map at the moment, with more service providers due to come on soon. If you click on these, you get a load of information, so you can see the address. We display this currently as an EVM address because then it could be compatible with things like MetaMask, which is good. You can also see that information hashcan. You can see the account balance of that device, its last heartbeat message. And you can also see when it had requests for service and its heartbeat, which is basically its service status. So I can look on here, for example. If I look at hashcan, I can see this heartbeat coming in. It's now 4:28, so every about 40 seconds we're getting a heartbeat coming through. This is on the HCS topic. So if we go back to here, now if I want to register my device on here, so I need to log in. So let's create a brand new account. So let's think of, call him Fred Flintstone. And we'll call him Fred at gmail.com. And I'll call him F Flintstone. We put in a password. It should have one capital, and then the rest should be lowercase. So we'll do that again. Okay, so if I now register the account, save that. So now it brings us into the Neuron Explorer. So we've just got to read and accept some terms and conditions there. So that's already selected. And now this will set up the account. So that takes around about 5 to 10 seconds normally. It can sometimes take a little bit longer. It just depends on network congestion. But that's now created me with a Hedera account. Now in the future we will include sort of wallet integrations at this point, so you can actually integrate your own wallet or your existing Hedera account. But since we're operating on a testnet, we're just creating a brand new account for you. You then get your public and private key. And so now if I want to add a device to my account, so I can now associate, so I can put I'll put a home. I'll call this one home, so I can give it a name. So if you might have multiple sensors, I might have one at my house, one at my brother's house. You can give them a name so that you know which one's which. You then need to select your device role. So you've got service provider, which is the in this case you're providing a service, a data service. A customer would be someone who wants that data service. So a software application, for example, would choose customer. But in this case, we are a sensor, so we're providing a service. And then we choose the device. So in this case, we've got the JetVision Air Squitter sensor. So let's create that device. So now we've got a device created. We've got a private key here as well for that device. So this is the private key for the device, not for the main account that we have. So at the top level, we have the account. Below that, we then have the device details. But the device, it can be anything. It could be a sensor, it could be a phone, a laptop, a Raspberry Pi, it could be all sorts of things. But that's basically what creates the node. And this private key should be stored in the node, so the node can then do peer-to-peer services with customers in the network. But it doesn't yet know. It knows it's a service provider, but it doesn't yet know whether that device is what service it's providing. So we must add a service. And in this case, it's an ADSB service. And you can download here the service level agreement, which looks something like this. So This is basically the agreement that you are providing the customer with. So the agreement between you and your customers. So if you're selling data, then it will explain what the data formats are and what the update rate should be for that data, and what happens if the data stream stops for some reason, and things like this. So I can now click next. The next part is where we select the service parameters. So in the case for this service, it's only got one service parameter, and this service parameter is selectable, or it's normally selectable, but in this case we've kept it fixed just for the beta program. But basically it's a price per hour for the data. So we're currently denominating that in HBAR, but it will be, the default in the future will be USDC, but HBAR is a great token, so we're using that for the moment in testnet environment. So when you sell your service, you should receive 1 HBAR every hour that your service is running by each customer that's connected to your device. So if you have 10 customers connected to your device, you should be receiving 10 HBAR every hour. Okay, we'll click next. So that's the service parameters and the service, which is the service level agreement. That attaches to the smart contract. So if we click next, now we need to attach all of this service information to this device and set up all of the communication channels for that device. So if we click register device now, that device should now be being registered. So if we just click update, you can see the status has now gone to pending. You will need to refresh your page. Currently, this is, as I say, still in beta, but if you refresh your page, this process takes for it to register this device around about 30 to 60 seconds on average. And basically what that does is it's setting up 3 device topics. So the first device topic is your input channel, the second device topic is your output channel, and the third device topic is an error channel. So this device is communicating over those 3 channels, and those are all serviced by the Hedera consensus service. And the final thing it's setting up is obviously it's registering the device in the smart contract. So if I click refresh, still pending at the moment, but it's now got the device account ID. So that device is now being set up with an account of its own account device ID that's linked to your main account ID. So any money that this device earns, you can then transfer from the device account into your main account, and that will then provide you with a way to sort of keep because this private key is stored in the device, you're not keeping all of you're not putting your private key in a device that is for your main account with all your most of your money in it. So it helps to separate the security issues there. So if I now do a refresh, there we go. So it's now registered. So if I click on here, you can see I've got this account ID, I've got my private key, and these are what need to be inserted into the device. So if we now go to the device, so the device is currently on my local network at this IP address. There's going to be details on how to find that IP address in the instructions for the Jet Vision sensor, and I put all of this detail in. That's all included in the instructions. It's quite easy to find. You can literally read it from the front of the sensor when you turned it on. You put this in, and you come up with this setup screen. So I now need to put in my Hedera account number. So if I go back to here, I can copy my account number, pop that into here. Okay, so you can now see it's got the EVM address of the device, and it's got the HBAR balance. So it's now asking me for my private key. So I can copy this across, pop my private key into the device, click next, and you will see, there we go. So you've got the contract address, that's the smart contract that this is registered on. You've got the input topic, the output topic, and the error topic. So these are your 3 HCS topics that this device uses to communicate over. So the input topic would be, say, a customer wants to access a service from this device. It would communicate that service request on the input topic. The output topic is if the device wants to provide a heartbeat or a service status. It would then use this output topic here. And the error topic would be if the device notices that there's an error, or if someone else notices that there's an error on the device, then that's communicated over the error topic. So I have 3 accounts there for the device. And I can now select a location for my sensor. So this gives me a rough location based on the GPS of my device, but I might want to just hide it a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll actually move it into this water, which is near to my device. I can actually move it around a fair bit. I could put it all the way over here if I wanted to, but you can't. It has to be reasonably close. I think it's around about 500 meters, within 500 meters of my location. So I'll pop it up here on this bridge between in Canary Wharf. So I've now got set my location, which is where my actual location is around here, but I can now anonymize my location to some degree. So I can now boot the device. So you'll see now here is the command line. This is now going through a setup process. It's booting the node, it's creating the node on the device. It's associating all of the keys and the device topics to the device. So the device knows how to communicate on the network. And it's then listening and doing some checks to make sure everything is working. Once that's finished, you'll see at the bottom of this little screen here, it will tell you once it's finished. So it's still doing a few bits and pieces, but that should only take around about 30 seconds to complete, and then that will be set up. And what we've got here is just a couple of instructions. So if you want to completely restart this process, reboot your device back to sort of factory settings, you can do that using these instructions here. Here's the link to the Explorer, which you just saw a moment ago. And if you want to, here we go. So the console has stopped. You can leave now. The other thing we may want to do is to top up our account with a little bit of HBAR. Obviously, these are testnet HBAR at the moment, so they don't have any value. This will all be kind of in the mainnet version. This will all be kind of hidden, and actually you'll just pay for your fees directly from the income that you're getting from the device. But for now, we've got this way to top up your account using the Hedera faucet. So we'll do that quickly just to give ourselves a little bit of HBAR, so the device stays on for a while. So I can do this, confirm the transaction, put that in. That should top my account up with 100 HBAR. So if I go back to here, that's all done, that's all completed. So I can now go back to the Explorer. I've input all of my details here. I've got my device. If I go back to my devices, you can see this is now registered. I can now go onto the map. And the map hopefully will show my device, which is on that bridge. You'll see in the middle of that bridge, which we've just done. So you can see that was seen just about a minute ago when I've updated it. So that is now online and live. So you can see that's now on, and you can see there was a request for service about 22 seconds ago. And so that request for service was probably the 4D Sky software saying, hey, can you give me a service, please? I can see you've just recently registered. Please, can you give me a service? So you can see some other dots around here. I've been doing a lot of testing, so you'll see that these dots here were just other, they're basically old nodes that I'd created, but they're now dead. So all of the ones with the bubble are ones that are currently live. So if I look at this, you'll see I've got my 100 HBAR plus the one HBAR I got when I opened the account. You can see that I've got a request for service around about a minute ago. So if I can see this is now live and it's being seen, there's a heartbeat. So if I go to 4D Sky, if I just refresh my screen, it might ask me to sign in again. So I'll just sign in with an account. Now if I go to London, hopefully, so this is where I registered it here. If I now click this, you will see that that location I just put my sensor, which isn't actually quite my real location, it's within a small range of where my real location is, but that is basically now providing me with all of that data right the way out over to the Netherlands. So you can see that that sensor is now live, live and kicking. So that is the sensor registered and live on both 4D Sky, blasting data through into 4D Sky peer-to-peer, and live on the Explorer. So any other software provider can now go in and could connect to my device as long as they pay me, and that device is now live and working. I think that's probably it. So and you can see that request for service is there. 2 minutes ago it was requested, and you can see the heartbeat going in for the ADSB service, and I think that's it. So yeah, thanks for that. I think that's everything, and yeah, if you've got any questions, please reach out to us on the Discord channel or via Twitter, and we'll do our best to answer any questions. I must just say, last thing is, this is the first iteration of the MVP, so we should have lots and lots of updates happening over the next couple